Hey, welcome back to the AIWC channel. With me today, I have Lynn and Nicole. Hi, ladies.
Hi there.
Good morning. Yeah, it is morning. It's a lot earlier than I had planned to get up this morning. Today, I wanted to go over how you can use ChatGPT-4 to create some images. And having Nicole and Lynn on the session with me is ideal because both of these ladies actually create comic books or color books that they then, what is it called? Content material that y'all put out on Amazon,
Mid-content.
mid content. So, about how many different coloring books do you have out there, Lynn?
Probably around 100, something like that.
Oh my goodness. Now, do you do other things other than like the coloring books? Do you do game
I
books and different things?
Yeah, I have some activity books and I have a whole bunch of journal type books.
Nice. And Nicole, I know that I've been out on your site as well, and I know that you have some coloring books, and you also have some AI books out there for how to use pseudo-write and ChatGPT and so forth. How many coloring books do you have out there?
Little over a dozen. I'd say probably about 20, maybe for the coloring books.
Nice. And how many of the AI books do you have out right now?
Currently, there are 3 published with the 4th on pre-order.
When is your fourth one that's up on pre-order? When is that one due for release?
March 1st.
Very nice. Now, in the YouTube description, I'll have a link to Lynn's and Nicole's Amazon, and I'll also link Nicole's pre-order. That way, y'all can click on that and go out and check out these ladies' content that's out on Amazon. So today, I really want to cover how to generate within ChatGPT-4. I know that the three of us have been in different sessions because we all do different recordings, and we've had people ask, how do you create images inside of ChatGPT-4? As you can see over here on the left, I have ChatGPT, but then I also have DALL-E. Now, I don't have to pick DALL-E over ChatGPT. I can actually just come down and I can ask the system to go ahead and generate images for me. But before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and ask it to give me 20 premises for an array of genres and subgenres. And I do that because I want to look at some of the different premises to see maybe what I want to create an image for. And I didn't ask for any one genre specifically, so it's going to give me a hodgepodge of different genres. So we have science fiction for space exploration, fantasy, we have mystery detective, we have psychological thriller, we have romance historical, and we also have action superhero, we have comedy, we have adventure like Treasure Island, we have drama for Family Saga, we have a cyber thriller, we also have urban fantasy, science fiction, dystopian. That could be interesting to look at. We have cozy mysteries, supernatural, contemporary romance, espionage. So as you can see, looking at these, we have an array of different items to pick from today. And I'm just going to pick one of these at random, Nicole or Lynn. Pick one of these numbers at random and we'll play with that.
14.
14, let's go ahead and do number 14. And
Figures.
14 for horror supernatural, a group of college students camping in a remote forest, if I can speak today, encounter an ancient evil spirit, and their survival depends on deciphering old folklore. Let's see what chat will actually give us in the way of an image. Now, it's been interesting to see it actually generate images for us. I know that earlier, I think Nicole was looking at one of her stories that she's been working on, and she was actually getting it to create some of her characters so that she could have character contact sheets for the different characters in her book. Now, is that something do you do frequently, Nicole, whenever you are working on a story? Do you often have the LLM generate images for your story for inspiration?
I do it more for the settings because I want to
Okay.
see it other than in just in my head. My characters typically go off of like a celebrity, or I just typically have a clear image of how I want them to look. But it's also nice to go ahead and generate that picture occasionally just to keep them fresh in my mind.
Now, have you been able to generate an array of images within ChatGPT for your different images, Lynn and Nicole?
Yes, I have.
Now, do you find that one image works better for you with your coloring books than for, say, maybe the images that you might use for your book or for a book cover, or just for the images that you use to identify maybe a character or setting or scene?
I have certain prompts that I use for coloring images, and then I have different prompts, especially for my children's books images.
Now, do you have videos out on those currently, Lynn, for your
I
coloring books?
I do not, and I
Okay.
should.
Oh, definitely. I think I see that in your near future.
And I'm the same. I have just specific sizing mainly for my coloring book. And then for the
Now,
characters, the story information, it doesn't matter much in size, but of course I need that specific sizing for my coloring books and things that I ask for.
what size do you generally use for your coloring books, Nicole?
A size that I cannot tell you offhand. I just
Sorry.
learned in my class that I did, a recent class with Pseudo Right to help people create coloring books to go with their novels.
Okay.
It's one of those things, I just have that prompt saved and I can easily copy it into chat.
You're making
Now,
it harder than it needs to be. You can always do 8.5 by 11.
and it's interesting that you're creating covers that way, and it gives inspiration to the body of work that you're working on. And I know that's something that a lot of people have been interested in and have actually expressed that within the AIWC channel, which is AI Writers Connections Discord. So that was the main purpose today for actually creating some of this content so that people can get a feel for how they can generate different types of prompts and how to actually engage the LLM. Now, the way that I might prompt might be a little different from the way Lynn or Nicole prompt, but that doesn't mean that there's any right or wrong way. It just means that we all kind of tackle things a little different. And that's actually good because this is not a one size fits all type of process. We may all at the end of the day come up with the same type of image sizes, but we might go about it a little different. And again, I encourage everybody to watch Nicole's videos, watch the videos that Lynn has out there, watch the stuff on the AIWC, and see what resonates for you.
And I think that's the great thing about AI is that there's so many ways to do it. People get intimidated, think they have to come up with all this special prompting and they get nervous and might put it off or not play with it as much as they could because they're so daunted by it. And it's very easy and very customizable to your own workflow.
And that is true. It's interesting to see how different people will tackle things. I know earlier when we were talking, you had mentioned that you weren't using maybe the exact dimensions, say a 24 by 24. You might have been using the preferred 1-to-1 square ratio. Is that what I had understood earlier? So that you were tackling it a little bit different?
I typically ask if either for a 3 to 4 ratio, like for my book covers, but mainly I use the pixel size ratios and play around with those.
So you had number 14, which is the horror one here that you had picked earlier. So I'm going to come down here and I have a little prompt and I'm going to say premise number 14, but I'm going to go ahead and put that in quotation marks. And let's see what it gives us. Now, earlier today, Nicole had made the comment that we might want to go ahead and ask it to leave no empty margins on the image. And then the suggestion was to maybe add in that we want it to be on a white background if we want to have composite images. But for this type of image, we just want the whole image. We want the whole picture to take shape across the whole dimension of the frame that we're asking to fill. But in a little bit, we're going to do some character sheets to see how we can get those to flesh out and give us additional information too. Now, Lynn or Nicole, have y'all used any type of character sheets? Like when you're doing your coloring books, do you use character sheets or do you just generate one image at a time?
I do one image at a time, and my stuff is typically adult coloring books, so I don't have any specific one character.
Okay. Now, if you had, say, you have your body of work written and you have your premise, or say you have a short or long blurb, or even your synopsis, you could come in and ask the LLM, ChatGPT-4, to create an image of your body of work, something that represents your book. Now, if you want something that's more in the size of, say, a book cover, that you might be able to put an author name on the top or the bottom along with the title, then you might want to ask it for something like a 16 by 25 60. There are a couple of other dimensions that you can ask for, but this one gives you a little bit more space to work with. And that way, if you want to take more off the top, you can still do that. But it gives you enough room to work with your image. If you're looking at creating both an ebook and you're wanting to use the same image to create maybe your Audible book, which should be like a 24 by 24, you could just take this and square this off to make this become your actual image for your audiobook as well.
And it's really fun to give chat outline once you have that finalized and ask it to create images for the various scenes in your story.
Oh, do you do that by, say, chapter or specific scene for each one?
You can do it either way. Typically, I'll just upload my whole outline and ask it to create one from it. And then once it seems to be giving me content that I really want, I'll ask it to do the next ones.
Now, that's actually a cool idea if you're writing serialized bodies of work, because often some of those platforms allow you to upload an image with each one of your episodes. Not all of them, but some of them do. So that's a really interesting concept. I know with, say, Radish allows you to for each episode, you can input information, or for each season, you can put up a specific image that represents that body. So that's an interesting concept to think about when you are looking at your bodies of work and what you can put out there. Now, if you have a blog, that would be a good idea also for a blog if you're releasing little segments of maybe short stories. You could definitely have the system create images for your blog for short stories. That's
That
I
also
really
works
like
well
that.
for promotion on
Oh,
to put promotion up on social media sites.
what kind of promotion, are you talking about there, Lynn?
I'm talking about, of course, there's always Facebook and Pinterest, I think, to publicize your book because you want to drive people to your book and the images capture the imagination. And sometimes people will, just like your book cover image, images of scenes can also spark interest.
Very nice.
I think it's very ironic with the saying, don't judge a book by its cover, yet in the actual book business, don't we always judge a book by its cover and the images and everything?
I think we always do, and that's the first thing that draws the eye is the image itself. Yeah, we do judge a book by its cover, and we grow up hearing don't do that, but everybody does that whenever it comes to fiction or nonfiction works. We're constantly doing that, even with movie posters. How many times have you been at the movie theater and you see all these cinematic posters? And there are some that kind of draw your eye more than others. And it can really draw you in to maybe watch one movie over another. Now, here is how I was able to bring up the character contact sheet. Now, this sheet, I actually got this idea out of the AIWC channel for different artwork because Nimatrix and Gina are two individuals who are inside at the AIWC, and they're highly active when it comes to doing different types of artwork. So I saw some things that they were actually posting, and we had a conversation about it. And I started thinking, oh, that's really cool. And I knew that my daughter Amelia was wanting to play around with some images for an interactive novel. So we began to play with some of the prompts. And then this morning, Lynn and Nicole and I were playing with these just to see what we could do with these prompts. And this is what we were coming up with, being able to ask the LLM different questions on how we can set up the images.
And I'd like to give a shout out to Gianna as well. She did one of my book covers, and she is just amazing to this day. It's my favorite book cover.
Oh, is that the one with the mask and the purple?
Yes, ma'am.
What is the title of that one?
That one is the Mardi Gras Temptation.
Very nice. And that is available where? On Amazon?
Yes, ma'am. Mardi Gras
Mhm.
Temptations by Nikki Love.
Very nice. Let's see. I just asked it to give me 20 prompts that will work for a character sheet like the one above. It's giving me a futuristic cyber detective. Let's see. We have an elven archer, steampunk inventor, mystical forest witch. So I can use all of these. Now, one of the things that I noticed whenever we were doing this earlier today is that it shortens my prompt. And I'm worried that it's not going to give me the information that I'm looking for. So, what I did earlier is that I went back up and I grabbed the prompt and I just went ahead and plugged that back in. Now, this area right here that says instruction for prompt, I was actually going back in and grabbing this content here to fill in. So if I want it to be a cyborg detective, I can do that, but I'm interested to see what this archer will do. So I'm just going to replace the information here. And do I want it to be more realistic? Do I want it to be an oil painting? What kind of style do I want it to have? So let's take a look now. I could have said cinematic, I could have said realistic, I could have used cartoon, any type of abstract style. Now, Len, when you were talking about marketing, I know that using ChatGPT-4, we can have prompts out there that say something like, write me 20 ad copy for, I don't know, Twitter or for, say, TikTok, along with the hashtags, and then we can ask it to go a step further and give us images that might match the pictures. Is that more or less a direction that you might go when you're looking at building the information?
Yes, and I might take like a picture of a character in a scene, but not necessarily a scene from the book, just the character. And then you can ask it, you can even feed it your material and ask it to create marketing materials for you.
Nice. And that makes it really unique to the specific book. And if you have a really clear description of your character, like with what Nicole was doing earlier today, she was looking at her scenes and looking at her characters, and using the description of her character, she was able to create a specific image for her book to be able to use. And I thought that was pretty cool. And I know a lot of people, if they're a novel crafter, they like to create images and then put those into the codex with each one of their characters. Now, I know inside of Pseudo Wright's Story Bible, if you wanted to, you could probably go in there and generate images as well. Because I think they updated that function too, didn't they, Nicole or Lynn?
Yes, ma'am. Now it uses DALL-E 3 for the visualize feature. And it actually gave me some really good marketing images whenever I asked it to just describe a scene.
Now, do you have videos out there on the pseudo-write Discord where people can go out after they join the pseudo-write Discord? They can go out and look at some of those videos to see some of the things that y'all have already recorded on some of those 101 classes, 201, 301, 401, or really specific to maybe creating the images there within pseudo-write or brainstorming. Do y'all have specific videos there or on your own YouTube?
Yes, ma'am. In the Discord, the Pseudo-Write Discord, there is a channel called Course Videos, and that's where all the recorded classes get posted from the various teachers. Miss Lynn actually just finished up her 4-day Write With Me series, which was awesome. Her first session had a really great match my style tip in there. So we have the Discord channel. I like to upload some classes and extra videos on my YouTube channel. I believe Miss Lynn is doing that as well on hers.
I
Very
am.
nice.
Pseudo-Write has been slow, or maybe they stopped putting up videos in their YouTube channel. So we've been putting it up on our own.
Ah. So I have reached my cap today. As you can see under ChatGPT-4, when you use it, is it 40 or 50 now, ladies? I think it's 50.
I think it's 50, yes.
Yeah. I'm not able to use it again until 12:42 Central Standard Time. I guess this is a good stopping point, but I do want to let people know that there are so many different ways that you can use images here. And like I said, if you have a character list and you have descriptions in there and you want to see what your characters look like, you can simply say something like, create an image based off of my character description given below, and then just give the LLM the description of your character. Again, there's no right or wrong way. Find what works for you. I want to thank you, Lynn and Nicole, for joining me today. I know that this was a really quick little impromptu session, but I just wanted to get something out so that some of the viewers who are asking questions have the ability to play around inside of ChatGPT-4. If y'all have questions, don't hesitate to reach out to either Lynn, Nicole, or myself. We're always in the AIWC, and I know Lynn and Nicole are always inside of Pseudo Rights Discord. So again, don't hesitate to reach out and have a wonderful afternoon. Bye, guys.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.